Welcome to another episode of This Old Hooptie, where I take this piece of crap and make it into something a little more pretty, I hope. In today's episode, we're going to dig this thing out of the garage. It's been parked in here quite a long time. Hasn't been on the road in like 20 years or something like that. So what we'll do is we'll dig it out, get everything put back in the garage, then I'll get it over to my place, and we can do a thorough going over. Let's get started. All right, we'll move on to this stuff.
Now to this stuff here, we can just start putting it right here in front of that.
Okay.
I would never get rid of this box. This is my dad's tool.
It's probably gonna last forever. Unlike what you buy today. All right, I think we can pull this thing forward now, and then we can empty out the bed, which is also completely full. All right, let's get the battery hooked up and get this thing pulled forward. Now, I already made sure this thing started up off camera, so pretty much we just got to get this thing running. That way we can pull it forward. But just in case, got some jumpers. And like any true project truck, you got some vice grips in the engine bay somewhere. That's nice looking. All right, you want to see if it fires up?
You ready?
Yep.
Might have to get some fuel. All right, here we go.
That's pulling fuel. It's pulling fuel. I can see it going into the carburetor.
Can you?
Yep. All right, let's dump something down the yap. Get it started. You have a little bottle somewhere? At least we know the battery's good in here. A few shots, and it'll probably. What's in here?
That's the mixture.
How much is it? Is it 4 to 1 or 4 to 2?
4 to 1, I think it is. It's
4
not
parts
much.
gas, 1 part oil. That should be fine. We're just gonna just like a sip.
Let me just put a little bit in this, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to mess it up.
No. If anything, it'll lube it up a bit.
I like that.
With all the crap they tell you to pour down these things anyways to keep them maintained, I don't think it's gonna hurt. All right, fire that off. See what it does.
Here we go. Come on, baby.
Time to wake up, truck. get her out of the cave. First time out in a really long time. Hopefully we got some transmission and brakes. We need to add some transmission fluid?
Yep.
All right. That's what happens when we let them sit for a while. Well, she sounds great, but right now we got nothing on the transmission, so we're gonna fill it with some fluid, see if we can get it into gear. All the transmission fluid emptied out through the yoke, so let's see what we can do. All right, now that we fed the tranny a little bit, let's see if we can get this thing going again. Go ahead, give it a shot. Let's get this thing out in the sunshine. First time in a long time. All right, now we're gonna empty out the rest of this stuff and finally see what's left of the bed.
It won't take long now.
Yep. Appreciate you letting me store here for so long. I definitely gonna need some new wood in here. But the metal is nice and shiny. All right, let's get this thing on the road. Been parked in there for a very long time. All right, let's get our new C10 right about there. All right, now that this old girl is in her new home, let's quickly give her the once-over. She's in pretty decent condition. All the lights and stuff work. There's some dents and dings, some rust, etc. But the important bits are good. Engine, headers, carb, all that stuff works. We've already cleaned everything out. There's a little misfire, so I've got to give it a tune-up. Gonna change the filter, but I got this thing running a while back, and that's how I got her over here. So I appreciate my friend's help. He was holding on to it for me for about 5 months, and then they needed their garage, so I brought it back over here. I'm not gonna get started on this thing today, but we'll just quickly go over it, see what's going on with it and what it needs. That way I can make notes, get some parts on order, and then I can get back to working on the S10 in the garage. But I will be coming up to this one this year, so eventually we'll get here. All right, so like I said, this is working. Needs some body work. I like the original rally wheels. I do want to close the gap a little. Keeping these rims and tires, I want to make the thing a little bit lower. I've got all the original badges. I've got brand new handles, brand new mirrors. It's pretty nice. It's got a new dash pad, new gauges. The paint in here is actually pretty good. I will eventually change the paint, but for now, this will work for what we're doing. It had the outer rockers replaced. It looks like they were riveted on. I will probably drill those out and see what's underneath it on this side, because I know this side, let me show you. Let's see, hopefully you guys can see that. It's got some pretty good air conditioning coming straight through here. The inner rocker is deteriorated and possibly part of the floor panel over here. But the rest of the floor is good. There's no rust anywhere else underneath this thing. It's isolated to right here as far as the cab goes, and also the drip rail, which I'm going to have to fix, maybe do a little welding, reseal up here, and then get that covered up. For now, I've got a car cover until I can get to this, and we've got a lot of body work to do. So this is a Florida truck. The frame is good, no rust on it. There is some little rust areas on, you know, the usual suspects. Inner rockers, this side is fine, but that mount there for the cab, that's gonna need to be replaced. And I already showed you on the other side, needs some work. But for the most part, this is pretty good. I mean, everything looks good under here. It's been in Florida forever, so no issues with frame rust or any of that stuff. Brand new exhaust front to back. Obviously you can see the doors are definitely gonna need some work. I'm gonna need door bottoms on both sides. There's some rust in there. So like I said, the usual suspects. Both of the rear corners, the cab corners, need to be replaced. But it's really not bad in the grand scheme of things. Just some typical nonsense on these trucks. This thing's gonna be great. When the time comes, we've taken out all of this stuff because I'm pretty sure there's moisture sucked into here. As you can see, there's already rust behind it. So I'll clean up all of that stuff. It does have the 4 matching rims and tires. It does have the really cool wood bed. All of the metal and bolts and whatnot are new. The wood has been sitting outside for like 10 or 20 years, so obviously that is not good. Pretty sure I'm gonna keep the toolbox, kind of like that. It is a long bed, it's got dual pipes, it's got the trailer hitch. For now, I will probably, when the time comes, just get rid of any rust and garbage on the body and get this thing painted up. Replace the bedwork, probably with some new wood. The plan is just to have a nice 1969 truck with the original engine, transmission, and have it a short bed with a pretty cool looking, maybe flat black hot rod style paint job. Lowered, of course, so the fenders are just above the tires. I will probably be keeping the bumper because it's got the trailer hitch on it, instead of replacing this to a roll pan like I've done with all my other trucks. I know it's kind of hard to hear exhaust through YouTube, but not bad. So as you can see, not a bad project to start with. For now, I got a car cover, just cover this thing up. I've already started sanding it down. As we talked about, this is getting a whole new paint job, so started sanding it down, going over anywhere where there was damage under the original paint before I got it. Re-welded everything, welded all the holes in here closed from the tonneau cover that was on here. You already saw the engines back in this thing, and I'm working on getting the fuel lines and the fuel cell installed in here. But for today, obviously, I've got a box of the parts for the C10. This is everything for that truck. Basically, the headlight buckets. It's got one of those cool Auga horns. It's got a brand new set of chrome mirrors, chrome handles, all the extra stuff to put back together on that truck when the time comes. So, but for now, the next video, we're gonna get back to this. We're gonna continue sanding on this thing and get this thing all cleaned up. So once I finish up with that, then I can get back to the air suspension on this. So I know I'm all over the place as usual, but kind of like it that way. It gives me always something different to do. I'm not a shop, I just do this stuff for fun. So if you guys are interested in this kind of thing, you guys know what to do. Like it if you like, don't if you don't. Subscribe to keep up with my latest shenanigans, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.